This is 1938. That's our house. This is the way it looked. They had a straw roof, an entrance like a little pantry in the front. Everything was wood. The family was all still together. My mother sitting holding the baby, the youngest Laya. My father standing with my little sister Hannah. And my brother Ruben is attending there the house, which they just came with bundles of wheat. And Manya's running towards me. She picked flowers. And I'm carrying water up from the river. So there everybody was still happy together, the whole family. Police with some gendarmes came with the orders that tomorrow, which October 15, 10 o'clock morning, you must wake in your house, take your money and jewelry. Don't take no food. There'll be lots of food where you're going. They're taking him, they're told they're gonna take him, resettle him somewhere else, and there's no need for food. God, what happened that night? And I cried all night. I am not going to Krasnik. You had to go to Krasnik to the railroad station. There was a railroad station. I heard of Majdanek already, and I heard of Auschwitz. I didn't hear of Belzec and Sobibor and all those, Treblinka and all that. I didn't hear that. So I asked my mother, where are they going to take us? She said, they're going to take us, make a ghetto. Even the ghetto had terrified me. I saw these people run over, came from the Warsaw ghetto. It came the morning, by 10 o'clock, if you don't leave your house, if they find you after 10 o'clock on your property, you're shot to death. So you had to watch the clock by 10 o'clock to be out. My mother tied together in bed sheets and clothes, whatever. She put pieces of bread in the kid's coat. She's all wrapped with that red shawl. They all had layers of clothes. Next to her is the youngest, Leah. She was 6-year-old. Next to her is Hancha, the 10-year-old. And next to Hancha is Manya, who was at the time 12. I'm standing next to Manya and my father and my brother, and everybody's crying. And I said, I'm not going. My father became mute, he couldn't talk. He was just emotional. My mother was trying to calm us down. So I begged my mother. I said, Mama, Tata, I said, you had so many friends, farmers, friends. Don't you know that a guy that I could go to? See, I was only, I was selfish. I only thought of me. So my father said, Efshe Stefan in Dombrova. I call her Stefan, that's all I need. I'm going to Stefan. At that point I said, I won't take Manya. Manya said, no, I'm not going with you, I'm going with Mama. So Mama says, Manya gave it to Esther, go with Esther. So the little one, the youngest one, Laitja, who I actually brought up, started crying, Esther, nimm mir, take me, Esther, take me. It's still ringing in my ears, take me. And actually my mother pulled her back. She said, nein, die kannst nicht gehen, die wird sehr klein. You're too little. You have to be able to work on a farm. You have to be older. So she cried bitterly. So here my mother arranged this woman. She paid her and she came with a basket. My mother had these 2 baskets with the spades, like for potato digging. We looked like patent. Here we part. 2 wagons came. Already the other Jews came to wait for them. And here we say goodbye. And it was horrible. My mother, we all clinked, and my mother says, Gateskinder, seid misleer, efshe wird hier bleiben. Go, may God, maybe you will live. Knocked on the door, he came out and I introduced myself. Pania Stefan, he said, yes. I said, we are Herrschdores, please help us. And we threw ourselves on him from each side, and his hands went around us, and we closed the door behind us. And he started calming us down. He, shh, I'll help you. After this whole thing will blow over, I'll help you. And then put us up at the attic there. That Friday, the rain started. It was raining cats and dogs. There was a little window there on the top, and we watched this rain. And we worried what they had to report themselves in Krasnik on the field. There was no station like that. There was all a railroad outside the field. And all these people out there, it was tearing us apart inside. Just tearing us apart. Saturday all day we were shredding the tobacco. He brought us up food. Sunday morning was unusual. He called us down for breakfast. So when we came down, I saw the baskets by the door ready. So I know that we are going. He's sending us out. But he invited us to the room, and he had breakfast prepared, borscht and bread, and he had prepared pieces of bread tied up in cloth, cheese to take along. And I saw this old lady sitting there. She didn't pick up her head. Then I saw his wife and the children. And he said, dear children, you have to leave. The whole Mniszek knows you are here, that you came to me, and if the Germans will come, they'll kill you, they'll burn my farm and kill my family. You must go. That was it. Out we went. It's still raining. It never stopped. It never stopped. You couldn't see nothing like a yard in front of you. We were drenched in seconds, but we went where the road, that muddy road led us into the forest. That's what we went. By the time we got into the forest, the sun was coming out. Yeah, we hung them up on a tree to drain them, because we couldn't even walk anymore. They were filled up with water. Now I finally realized that the word Herrschdores is dead. That saying Herrschdores will only bring us death. I said, we cannot stay here in the woods. We're going to be suspected as Jewish right away if you're two girls in the woods. This was the time. I remember my father mentioning these business deals that he made here, there, mentioning some Gentile's name. I remember the name Grachowiecka. And I remember he went someplace on the other side of Vistula. I don't know what the village or town, but Chizrov. So I said, here what we're going to do. We are from Chizrov, and we are Grachowiecka. Her name Maria, and Josephine was born. This is by Jadek, and this is summertime. I already was a full-fledged farmer there, running everything, dug up all these spaces and planted everything. There were strawberries planted that were never there before. So I was picking strawberries, and these two Nazi soldiers showed up, and they stepped right in, and the vegetables and all, right into the garden. And my Jadek was right not far from them. He was right in behind them, because he was worried about me. The first one, when he walked in, he asked me what I'm doing. So I shook my shoulders. But then he got busy with the bees. The bees, when they notice a stranger, they smell a stranger, they'll attack you. So when they walked in, the swarm towards them, you know, because they had perfume, whatever. You know, this guy took off his hat and was trying to chase him off. And one guy had enough, and he was leaving. That's what it meant. The bees saved me, because they were busy with the bees, and they had enough, and they left. It comes like around 4 o'clock, and it was starting to get gray. That's why I made the sky grayish. before sundown, like in the afternoon, the Nazis were still there. And there were so many soldiers with tanks and horses, all soldiers. Now, Manya was there at the farm when they were throwing the artillery shells.
They were shelling, they were hitting the house. And all of a sudden, I feel so loose. Everybody was so tight in that basement. And I feel it's a lot of room there. And I look around, nobody was there. So I ran out. And a shell hit the house. And I was standing in the door. And those splitters were going all over.
The neighbor said that it's time for us to go into the bunker. He heard all the artillery so close. It's time for us to go to the bunker. So we all start going to the bunker. And I was the last one to get in. And the bullets, you know, the Katyusha bullets, they were just falling like beans over the orchard leaves, like beans falling down. So we made it into the bunker. So we stood there like an hour. And the old man, this neighbor, every time he stuck out his head, he wanted to hear what's going on. He said, no, it's not time yet. So he goes out from the bunker, and he goes in there, and he said, there's not a German. It's quiet, nobody there. So we all come out. This is already like almost sundown. So we all come out, and he says, this neighbor, he was an old military man, so he said, something is going to happen by the road. So we go to the road by the fence, and he knew what to do. He brought a pail of water with cups. He said that they're going to come, the Russians going to come, they will want water. So we wait, and all of a sudden we hear, Padi Suda, Russian, you know, like, come here. Like the echo fell, and he said, Russians. And then we see, you know, they're coming out, you know, from the road. They were all young, scared, the Russian boys. There were maybe like 25 of them. This is the first patrol they go through. The old guy who understood Russian, so he, over the fence, he tried to give them, so maybe 2 or 3 got a hold of water. I was so happy when I heard they were talking that the German has lost the war. They were talking about the war is lost. And I understood what they were saying. I couldn't wait to share it. We were free. You know, at times I tried to feel myself, I'm free, that I'm alive, I'm free. Her story survived. Freedom came to me, to Manya and me.